Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today's February 28th. And first things first, I would like to address some of the National Weather Service issues going on. I want to give you an example of what happens when you cut back the National Weather Service. Due to budget cuts, the Kotzebue, Alaska upper air balloon will no longer be launched. Those balloons are launched all at the same time to give us a very detailed look at the upper levels of our atmosphere. Without that data, which just happens to be downstream of the United States, we are feeding less accurate data into our weather models, and this leads to immediate degradation in service. And I have people tell me, well, AI is just going to take over all this stuff. What do we need these people for here? It's going to be able to do everything eventually. Where do you think that AI gets that information from? It takes data from these observations, so it affects everything. And I work for Alaska Airlines. I work directly hand in hand with the FAA and air traffic control, and the military uses the National Weather Service to a huge degree. All the private industries here across the country and much of the world use the National Weather Service services here. And I also worked for the National Weather Service for several years back in the 90s and the early 2000s. I was one of the baseline data collection people, and I cannot overstate just how important this data is to the country. In my opinion, it should be funded much more. The supercomputer should be funded to a much greater degree. There should be, the budget should be increased by tenfold. It saves lives to a degree that is hard to quantify. And I don't want to get on a soapbox here too much here, but I work with these people hand in hand, and I think that my opinion matters, so I thought I'd go ahead and give it to you there. So anyway, let's get back to the forecast. So next system up is here off the west coast. There's Oregon and California. It's mainly going to impact Oregon, so we'll take a look at that here in a moment, and we'll take a look at additional systems that will be rolling through the Pacific Northwest as well as the extended forecast. You can see we got some low clouds across the area, but some areas are nice and sunny. Look at Mount Rainier and Mount Adams right there. Mount Baker is way up here. I don't know if you can see it. There's some high clouds moving around, but you can see some low clouds across the Willamette Valley, nice snow-capped mountains across the Rockies as well. And there's the next system off to the west. And if you want a nice, affordable home weather station, look at all the stuff that this thing does. Help support the channel. Click on the link down below to save 10% off. You will not regret it. And just a reminder that 7 p.m. sunsets are coming very quickly here on March 9th, where with the help of daylight savings times, we're going to be setting the sun after 7. By the time we get to the end of March, 7:38 sunsets await us. That is going to be so glorious. Now, meteorological spring, winter, fall, and summer, you can see is outlined by the base months. Astronomical winter goes from December 21st through March 20th. But today is the last day of meteorological winter, February 28th, and we go into meteorological spring. So we got that to look forward to. Now, taking a look here, you can see the system into California, the ridge that's been giving us our warmer than normal weather across Pacific Northwest. Next system up, spreading precipitation back up into Oregon and a bit of Washington as well. But the bulk of this system is headed towards California. Another ridge moves through in another trough with its eyes on California, but this one will be more dynamic for the Pacific Northwest as well. A bit of a transient ridge here. The Gulf of Alaska gets churning. A little bit of an atmospheric river signature there. We'll have to watch that one as we go through next weekend. Another deep trough right off the west coast of North America. Fairly robust low would probably accompany that up and towards Vancouver Island. We'll continue to watch that. And then, again, some troughing here will be hanging out with us as we go through mid-March as well. You can see it being reinforced. Looks like a chilly pattern right there. So, well, I got more for you on that here coming up in a minute. But if we take a brief look at what this would look like, there's the initial system. You see Washington not getting much. Oregon definitely getting better amounts and some snow for the higher terrain. Troughing and showers continue through Monday. Next system rolls in here. This would be much more dynamic for the Pacific Northwest. That system moves through, and then that atmospheric river potential that I talked about as we go on in through the following weekend. We got to watch that one closely as well. Now, daily 2-meter max temperatures for today. You can see we're dealing with some 70s, maybe low 70s. Southwest Oregon, anybody? Look at Portland warming up again here today. Seattle, Southwest BC, not a bad day today. Get out there and enjoy it, especially once the fog burns off for the Seattle Metro. I noticed it was foggy out there this morning. And if we take a look at tomorrow, still not bad again, but then look by Sunday, we start to drop those temperatures off quite dramatically. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, you get the gist there. We are These warm temperatures are going to be a distant memory as we go through the upcoming week. As you can see, we're not going to get back to those lofty temperatures probably at least for another week or so at the earliest. And if the extended forecast says anything, it might be a while after that. So here's the 24-hour temperature change from Saturday to Sunday. Look at this across the higher terrain. Some areas dropping off by 15, 20 degrees. So heads up if you're off in the backcountry. You'll feel that for Seattle and Portland, Willamette Valley, Southwest BC here as well. And Portland, Oregon, yesterday, 70 degrees, new record high for February 27th. I put that down in my records there as well. Nice stuff. And just a reminder here that we have the potential for winter weather as we go on in through the month of March. This is Spokane. I don't want you to get caught up in these details yet. We're not forecasting a snowstorm or anything just yet. This is out towards, March 15th, 16th, 17th. We'll have to hold our horses on that one, but just kind of showing you that some of the extended models still have the chillier air and snowfall around. This is Seattle, Tacoma. You can see you're not looking at some big rise into warmer temperatures here. It's a slow, arduous climb that's going to be brought, down to back to earth here with some of these troughs, and maybe we'll warm up at some point, here as we go through the second half of March on into April, brief, but then we'll be back down into some troughing as well. And you can see it's still a lot of rainfall to go. This goes all the way out towards April 14th. So taking a look here, this is the mid-March signal, and it continues to show in the model. So I'm watching that period here for some cooler activity here back down in the Pacific Northwest, although it is increasingly difficult to get lower elevation snowfall down into places like Seattle, Portland, Southwest BC as you get onto the month of March. It could still happen, but, we'll be watching this, and hopefully, if nothing else, we will start to bring back that snowpack for the mountains. Now, 6 to 10 day, you see the below normal for California. There's the above normal precipitation for much of the west. 8 to 14 day, and checks out there above normal across a lot of the west as well. So anyway, hope I didn't get on too much of a rant there for you about the National Weather Service, but anyway, I thought that I needed to put my opinion out there. Let me know what you guys think, and I hope you guys are enjoying the channel otherwise. And I will do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.